How long does it take to fully charge?
For a gasoline car, you'd want to fill it up. For an electric car, I charge to about 80% and then run it down all the way to 10%, or less.
What if I told you the battery that just dropped could end the lithium era forever? The aluminum-ion battery that Tesla will use in 2026 is real, and it's already changing everything. This new technology makes every EV that came before it look old, with its crazy fast charging times and long life that lasts longer than the car itself. We're going to talk about Tesla's secret project, its crazy parts, and why Elon Musk says the future is about to go crazy in this video. Tesla's quiet breakthrough that changed everything. Elon Musk made a promise that no one saw coming in late 2022. He said that Tesla's biggest problem was making enough batteries, but that once that was fixed, everything would go crazy. It was just another bold remark to most people. But now that it's 2026, we know he wasn't lying. He was letting us know. Outside of Tesla, everyone was worried about lithium shortages, price increases, and battery recalls. But Tesla was doing something that no one saw coming. In peace, without stopping. In Sparks, Nevada, their study team had found something much bigger than anyone had thought possible. Aluminum ion. There was no sound for 7 years. Not any press statements. There are no leaks. All that is going on is lab coats, supercomputers, and molecular modeling all day and night. Not to improve the battery a little. Not even to play. But to get rid of everything that came before it. Because Musk wasn't interested in making cars go 50 miles farther, it was about writing the rules over from scratch. He needed a battery that could be charged quickly. That went on for decades. That wasn't going to blow up. That could be made anywhere, used all over the world, and didn't cost much. Lithium wasn't enough for that. It was never there. So Tesla doubled down on aluminum, which other companies had ignored. Not just because it's easy to find and doesn't cost much. It has 3 times the charge of lithium per ion. Ions move very quickly when they do. It's fast enough to fully charge an electric vehicle in the time it takes to get a drink. Strong enough to keep a hospital off the grid running for weeks. Strong enough to last longer than the car itself. The work wasn't a side job. It turned out to be Tesla's most secret task. They called it the Trinity cell on the inside. Not a product, but a platform. Something that could run cities, homes, cars, and planes. Something that is as fast as silicon and strong as steel. It's now here. Production for sale has finally begun. Not to serve as a model. Not as an idea for maybe one day. As a real, scalable tool that is ready for the road. It changes everything. Batteries were the problem for a long time. Energy storage couldn't keep up with new ideas, so they died. Cars that fly? It's too heavy. Faraway towns? Way too unsteady. Power in an emergency? Not fast enough. The gate is now open, though. The aluminum-ion battery that Tesla makes isn't just another improvement. Every business that counts on energy has to deal with a new floor. That's why this is important. It's not just one type of battery. It's about getting to a world where power cells are no longer the limit. Where your electric vehicle, EV, is more than just a car. It's also your backup power source, energy bank, and personal grid. We tell stories to kids who haven't even been born yet about the old rules, like how they were slow to charge, had short lives, and could catch fire. Also, no one got lucky for this to happen. Tesla took a big chance, and it paid off. Because Musk wouldn't give in. Most of the world was worried about lithium mines, but Tesla was building something we couldn't see until now. Things get even stranger from here. Since the chemistry is so strong, what does it do to the cell itself? What's the answer? It makes your electric vehicle, EV, a mobile powerhouse, a machine with features that are so far ahead of their time that they sound like something out of science fiction. Right now, we're going to break that down. We need to see how the aluminum-ion battery destroys everything that came before it now that it's here. The triple-charged powerhouse. Tesla didn't give up on the old ways of doing things for a reason. Because once you know what's inside an aluminum-ion battery, you'll understand that they didn't just make improvements. They turned the whole system on its head. The trick is that each aluminium ion has 3 electric charges on it. That's not a gift. It's a huge surprise. Ions with only 1 charge are what most of the batteries we've used so far work on. There is only 1 unit of energy per ion when the battery does its job, like when it powers a car or charges your phone. Alum moves 3, though. It's like drinking through a fire hose instead of a straw. That one change, just that one difference in charge, makes the whole game different. 3 times as much power per ion, which means more power in the same amount of room and matter. And the outcomes are crazy. With the new aluminum ion cells, there are now 5,000 watt-hours of energy per kilogram. That's 15 times more than the best battery packs have ever been able to do. What does that mean in the real world? A Tesla Model 2 that goes farther than 300 miles. It goes on past 500. You can drive more than 3,000 miles on a full charge. That gets you from Lagos to Cairo and still has petrol left over. And it's not just the distance. It doesn't matter if you're in the desert or the mountains. This battery will work. Where other batteries would fall apart or catch fire, this one stays strong from -40 to +85 degrees Celsius. Imagine being able to power a rover or a drone in the Sahara or Antarctica. With aluminum ion, that's not a problem. It's what happens. What you don't get is the next big win. Not a dendrite. Those are the tiny, sharp crystals that form inside old batteries and cut through the layers, breaking them down, or worse, exploding them. They are not made by aluminum ion, not at all. It's not possible because of the science. This means that even after thousands of cycles, your battery stays clean, smooth, and strong. It never becomes dangerous. And charge speed changes a lot, because aluminium ions move through the electrolyte more quickly. You don't have to leave it plugged in all night. You don't need an hour. Even a big battery pack can be fully charged in 10 minutes. Some people are still waiting for 80%, but you're already back on the road. What really hurts is that it all started with a simple change in makeup. Not a patch. Not a way around it. Just the choice to use better atoms when building. It's not just an improvement over what we had. From the atoms up, this is a new way to think about the battery. It goes further than that. It does more than just charge faster. It lasts longer. Better work is done. It stays safer. It works more places, too. That's why it's not just a product, but also a platform. It's the base for all the things Tesla wants to build next, like homes, rockets, towns, and cars. The real twist comes now. Because when you start to use this much power, when your battery is this quick, smart, and stable, you don't just get better cars. It gives you brand new features that no other battery could ever work with. That's when things stop being amazing and start being impossible. Let's start. What only aluminum ion can unlock. That's quick. That's strong. Then there's living. That's what aluminum ion batteries have made possible. Features that don't just push the limits, they erase them totally. First, the battery will do something that has never been done before. It will fix itself. It seems impossible, but it's true. There is a special kind of flexible material inside Tesla's aluminum-ion battery that came from a study at Stanford. Small cracks start to show up in the wires inside the battery when they are damaged by stress or heavy use. In most cases, that's how cells die. But what about this? Those cracks will close up on their own. The material pulls itself back together in 3 to 5 seconds, making the damage look like it never happened. It doesn't just go back to normal either. Things get better. Each time the battery heals, it gets even better. Going from 85% to 102%, or even 101% of its previous power. It gets stronger the more you use it. This takes away almost all of the reasons why batteries usually fail. This is where more than 90% of the breaks that would kill old batteries start. But that's not all. Not only can this battery fix itself, but it can also stop itself. A thing called crystalline stasis is deep inside the structure of aluminium ions. It's like atoms going to sleep. When you put the battery away for a long time, it goes into this very low energy state that keeps everything inside safe without losing power. It only takes 0.1% every day, which is very little. When does it wake up? Even if it has been sitting idle for more than 10 years, it only takes 30 seconds to get back to full strength. That makes it great for situations, storing things away from the power grid, and even going to space. Imagine a rescue vehicle that hasn't been used in 10 years, but starts up at full speed as soon as you press the start button. It's not stuff from the future. That's aluminium ion at the moment. You won't believe how much power this thing has until you hear about those features. The aluminum ion packs that Tesla makes aren't just for moving. They're for life. They can each hold more than 2,000 kilowatt-hours of power, 20 times more than old batteries. A normal house could use it for a month. You can now use your car as a home generator, an emergency kit, and a mobile power station all in one. You'll be okay during blackouts, disasters, events, or even trips where you don't have access to the internet. This is what Tesla has been working towards. Energy that can be moved around isn't tied to one place and is always accessible. You don't need extra power. You are the backup power. And the performance doesn't change with the weather either. Even when it's very hot or very cold, the battery still works perfectly, which keeps stress levels low. That means more power, a longer life, and complete trust, no matter what the weather is like. The battery does its job without stopping or needing to be babysat, even when it's snowing or very hot outside. This is not a theory at all. Tesla has already put these features to the test in the real world, and they've done great in every test. There are no fires, not a failure, no breaking down, only clean, dependable, next-level energy that acts more like a live thing than a machine. But this is where it really blows my mind. Because if this much power can be stored in aluminum ion, what happens when Tesla uses it to make the cheapest and fastest electric car ever? The Model 2 Revolution. The Model 2 from Tesla has a starting price of $15,759, which is the lowest price the company has ever had. You're not getting a deal. That's a disturbance. And cutting costs isn't the reason it's possible. Science tells us so. Tesla didn't just make a new car when the aluminum ion battery was finally released. They created a whole new category, an electric car that was made from the ground up to be cheap, unbreakable, and unstoppable. Range is what we need to talk about. Most cheap EVs can't go more than 250 miles. With 400 to 500 miles on a single charge, the Model 2 blows that roof wide open. That's enough power for a car trip, and you won't have to find a charger every hour. When do you take a break to recharge? It's done before you drink your coffee. Ions can move very quickly, so a full charge takes only 10 minutes. But this is where it gets silly. This battery stays strong, never gets old, doesn't get old. The aluminum ion pack inside the Model 2 is made to last for more than 50,000 full charge cycles, while most EVs break down over time. In more than 70 years, you would have driven every day. That means you don't need a new charger at any time. No trades, no drops in ability. There is no quiet killer being watched from behind the scenes. You'll have the same things on day 1 as you will in year 30. Tesla didn't stop there either. They knew that price wouldn't matter if there wasn't enough supply. They chose aluminium instead of rare minerals or weak supply lines in other countries because it was a smarter choice. It is the third most common element in the crust of the Earth, and the world already has the tools to handle it on a large scale, cheaply, and everywhere. It means there will be no more slowdowns, not any more shortages, not a game of global chess. It's just machines making energy cells like clockwork. Now, Tesla's gigafactories are set up to connect to the world network for aluminium. This lets them grow quickly without having to beg for resources. That's when things get really bad for the economy. Switching to aluminum-ion batteries cuts the cost of having an EV by more than 60%. That's freedom in the long run, not just savings right now. Less expensive insurance, less frequent maintenance, no need to change batteries, and electricity that costs less than a penny per mile. Model 2 is no longer a luxury. It's a good idea. Now picture this happening in many cities and in many countries. In places where electric vehicles used to be out of reach, the Model 2 makes it possible to own one for the first time. A lot of drivers haven't been able to get in before because of price, facilities, or politics in the supply chain. This isn't just a car, it's economic access on wheels from Lagos to Mumbai to São Paulo. The fact that it's made of aluminium means that it stays strong and cheap. No matter how hot or cold it is, how long the drive is, or how big the load is, the battery never blinks. This is the kind of longevity that changes a car from a product to a platform. The Model 2 won't be the only car people drive. They'll depend on it for life, work, and power when everything else fails. In that case, Tesla did make the least expensive EV it has ever made. The car they really made, though, is the most useful, durable, and game-changing car in the world. Because this breakthrough sets off a chain reaction that shakes the whole world market. Old industries fall apart, supply lines change, and overnight, billion-dollar empires fall. What does this battery change mean for the world? Next, we'll talk about why lithium might already be out of date. A world after the switch. There was more to this launch than just a better battery. It was the start of a big change around the world. As soon as Tesla started making aluminum-ion batteries for sale, the whole supply chain changed. There is a lot of aluminium in the space around us. It's cheap, it can be recycled, and every region already has the tools to process it. Not having enough resources, price wars, or depending on exports that are unstable or controlled by a few companies is what this means. For the first time, there are no government or natural limits on how big energy tech can get. And it's not just cars that are affected. Already, businesses are getting better in ways we've never seen before. It is now possible, portable, and strong for factories, data centers, and even whole smart towns to have battery backups. National grids are rolling out aluminum-ion units the size of shipping containers. These units keep hospitals online during blackouts and balance the flow of green energy in real time. Mining rigs, offshore platforms, and satellite launch stations are just a few examples of high-demand equipment that can now run safely and sustainably on aluminum-based storage. There are no fumes, no fire risks, and no power loss. Tesla cars have turned into mobile power stations. A house can run on one car for weeks. They can fix up whole neighborhoods after tragedies with fleets of them. Now, construction crews use Teslas as their power source in remote places, so they don't have to use noisy diesel generators or fuel lines that can break. This energy follows you around. The change in the world is just as big. Aluminum-ion batteries cut pollution from batteries by as much as 75%. There is no wasteful water use, toxic pollution, or dangerous waste. The batteries are also 95% reusable, and they don't lose any of their purity or power. It is the cleanest large-scale storage device that has ever been made. If this blew your mind, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more breakthroughs. And don't stop here. Click the next video popping up on your screen. The future's just getting started.